And hey, hi, it's Deborah E. Johnson, and I am back to talk about another book of the Bible. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am in the book of Habakkuk. And we see in the book of Habakkuk that, of course, it is written by the minor prophet of Habakkuk. And the interesting thing about this book is that Habakkuk is really actually talking to God. He's upset because he knows that his countrymen have not done right. Again, most of the time, that's what the minor prophets are saying. But he also says, God, how can you have us be punished by people who are worse off than we are? And so he's referring to the Chaldeans. And right at the beginning of the book, he opens up in Habakkuk, the first chapter. He says, how long, O Lord? How long do I have to watch this kind of thing happen? And so Habakkuk challenges God and says, how long do I have to wait? God, are you paying attention? God, are you being right? Are you being fair? Where's the justice? And guess what? God actually answers him. And by the time we get to chapter 2, he says, and God answered me and said, you know what? Write the vision, Habakkuk, and make it plain. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. You're going to understand how I'm taking care of this. As you finish up chapter 2, he talks about the Chaldeans and what they're doing and how he sees it. And guess what? But God's going to take care of it. By the time you get to the chapter 3, Habakkuk is starting to get a little bit more like, okay, resolved, like, okay, God's going to take care of this. And then by the time you get to the end of chapter 3, Habakkuk is convinced that God has not forgotten his countrymen, that God sees the issues that are going on, and that God is actually going to take care of it. Habakkuk 3, if you've been in church any length of time, you know Habakkuk 3, verses 17 through 19. I'm going to read it. Amen. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vine. The labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. Verse 18, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. He says, I will have my strength and my belief in the Lord by the time you get to verse 19. Habakkuk comes out strong. Habakkuk says, okay, God, I believe. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter if there's no olive oil. It doesn't matter if there's any food in the stalls. I am going to trust in you. I am going to trust that you have this and you have taken care of it. And so what do I see as the goodness of God in the book of Habakkuk? I see the goodness as God answered him. God will answer us. God will, if we've got questions, in the book of James, it says, if any man lacks wisdom, you can ask God for it, and he won't get angry with you. And so here in the Old Testament, we see a really good example of Habakkuk being answered by God. So that's the first piece of goodness I see. And then the second piece of goodness I see is that by the time God gets finished talking to Habakkuk, he understands more about the character of God. He understands more that God hasn't forgotten him. God is a just God. And isn't that cool? The more we learn about the character of God, the more we can be reassured about God's going to take care of the circumstance. It doesn't matter whether somebody's gotten killed. It doesn't matter if someone's starving. It doesn't matter if someone has done you wrong. It doesn't matter if, circumstances aren't working out for you at that moment. God has your back. He has not forgotten you. Remember that, won't you? This is Deborah E. Johnson, and I'm finishing up for the book of Habakkuk today. Come back and be with me as I talk about another book of the Bible. And remember, it's your opportunity, take it, to tell someone about the goodness of God. Take care.